Hey y'all, last couple of days, having these discussions about this jackass that walked into the church in Carolina, targeted this church, and killed these people. It's sad. It's horrible that someone can have that much hate inside of them, inside of their head, inside of their heart, to do something like that. But you know what I think is even sadder? The other people, probably you, and you, that have just as much hate, but don't realize it, because you think you should hate a person because they hate you. And I'm sorry, I disagree, and I'm pretty sure that you disagree. But I'm gonna tell you, I can't walk around with hate in my heart. I'm not saying that I believe that no way, no how that's okay what that boy did. Not at all. But I'm going to tell you something else. I thought it took those people to speak yesterday to that boy. I thought that took some very strong faith and courage to say that they forgive him. And I don't know if I could actually say that, at least right at that point. I don't know that I can say that if that was me. I don't. But I also know that sometimes when you forgive, it's not for them, the person that you're forgiving. It's for you. Because how can you live with hate? Hate is just like it's strong. It's an emotion. It's like people who think very emotionally. Many times they make the wrong decisions versus somebody who thinks rationally. Now, I know there may be a lot of people that don't believe in zodiacs or, astrology, but I'm a Scorpio. I can forgive you. And I've been wronged a lot in life. I've been judged wrong. And I remember as a young kid, I'd be like, well, what did I do to that person? Why did they dislike me? Why, or when I was in the Air Force, why did that white person not like me? Why did that dude not shake my hand? I don't even know him. I just reached out my hand because that's what, I was told that men do when they're meeting someone for the first time or for the second time or the third time. And I learned at an early age that a lot of times it's not them. And even hearing things. And I'm going to give you a real quick story of a guy when I first went to basic training in the Air Force, for the Air Force. And it was this white guy, and I can't remember where he was from. I think it was either Tennessee or Kentucky, one of those places. And, as we were introducing ourselves to each other, I went to reach out my hand, and I went to reach out with this hand. We don't shake with the left, right? Hey, how you doing? Ryan Hodge, nice to meet you. And he turned beet red, and he wouldn't budge his hand, and that bothered me. I'm like, what is his problem? But I knew. I'm not stupid, and I'm not, I'm not trying to play some airhead blonde moment. I knew what it was. It was this color of his skin. That's it. I mean, he wasn't afraid of me, I don't think. And, you know, and I made a joke with him, and I said, hey, man, look, dude. And I rubbed it, right? And I said, man, don't rub off. It doesn't rub off. And I made a joke. I said, actually, it melts in your mouth, not in your hands. You know, and I laughed. And, you know, as weeks went on, you know, because we're 6 weeks basic training, as weeks went on, you know, because we're not going anywhere. We're in the same dorm room. We're doing all activities together and this, that, and the other. And as days went on, and, you know, he said something to me. He said, hey, man, I want to apologize from that first day. He said, I had never seen a black person in person before. And all I'd ever seen was black people on TV robbing, being searched for, or robbing or killing or doing this thing. He said, movies, the same thing. He said, I've never seen a black person before. He said, and you know what? You seem pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, as he's gotten to know me and around, he's like, yeah, and, I'm not saying that's my best friend, or I'm not saying I even talked to him after that, because I didn't. I just stayed away from him because it's not the type of person that's in my speed. And I grew up in a city that was majority black. I went to a high school that was 99.9995% black. I mean, there was like one girl who was Asian and black mixed, and there was one white girl that went there. And that was 4 years of school. High school. So I could have had the same experiences that he had. My parents didn't raise me that way. And a lot of times it's the parents' fault. They teach this. They raise this. Nigga this or nigga that, or this, that, and the other, right? I'm sure that's how it goes. I've never been raised in a white household, so I don't know. But all I do know is I wasn't raised to hate a person, because hate makes you do stupid shit, right? Like, what we gonna do? All these Facebook friends, oh, how could you say you forgive? No, dude, you're not gonna have me locked up in a prison inside my own body. Now, granted, I'm all for, black people, us, being treated equally, getting anything, that to help us survive, to grow as a people. I'm all for that. And I'll do everything. Matter of fact, I've dedicated my life to that. But that mean I have to hate? I can hate the act. And I can also forgive. Doesn't mean I forget. Because even through history, yes, we were treated bad. Slaves, it's not good. Whipped, killed, this, that, and the other, murdered for looking at white women. Police are killing us at alarming rates. But you know what? I say I forgive any of those people. But I can't live with hate. So, because this person, even in the black community, I grew up with guys that I didn't like, or didn't like me, that we fought, or this, that, and the other. Don't mean I hate them either. So I hate them? Because you were talking shit about me? Hell, I'm in business. My business is about black business. To help black business owners grow. I've heard things, he don't do this, or he don't do that, or he don't do this. Most of the stuff I've never said that I did. And most times it's people trying to make me, out to do something that I don't do. And I have no problems with telling a person, no, that's not what I do. But I can get somebody for you. And I've heard things. And it's, to me, it's sometimes like, are you trying to put me down, because maybe, our business has been more successful than yours, or this, that, and the other. And I know sometimes a lot of jealousy that goes on with things. If those people can forgive that dude, I'm not saying that I can or whatever, but I'm saying that forgiveness is in yourself. This is our temple. Our temple. How am I going to let another person control my mind? Make me do something stupid that I go, why the fuck did I do that? That's what stupid people do. That's what people who think emotionally do. No, I'm not a religious person. Don't follow, it's not. I listen to Christians, I listen to Muslims or Buddhists. If you speak in something that makes sense, I read a lot. Because the wise man always told me, the more it goes into your head from different sources, you can't always have one source go in, one source, because you're going to only have one output. You know what? That's probably that boy's problem. For whatever reason, he heard one source, or maybe it was just one overwhelming source. Because who does that? Think about that. Something's not right. And I'm not trying to claim no mental illness for you to even think that or this, that. Yeah, he does have a mental illness. A lot of people do. But there's also a lot of people that are walking this earth that are your buddies. They got mental illness too. But you know what? They preach the same thing you preach. Oh, ooh. What you gonna do? Go grab your guns? What you gonna do? Form a lynch mob? Go lynch his parents? What you gonna do? You gonna go shoot the first white person you saw because this dude did something? How about we look at the fact that if we just go back, last 50, 60 years, and we just look at the things that, Martin Luther King said, Malcolm X said. We just look at the things that they said. Martin was about nonviolence. But he also talked about riots. And he said, I may paraphrase this, may get it right, so don't be jumping all over me, but he said that that's the voice of the unheard. So that's what we're going to do, right? So even in his nonviolence, he's still saying that he understood why people do certain things. And Malcolm X was, hey, you fucking hit me, I'm going to hit your ass back. And I'm not trying to say that anything about white or this and the other, but I do have white friends. I don't know where they would wear. You know what? And they've called me up and like, this is fucked up. That's crazy. I'm saying all this to say is, you're not going to live inside my head. Nope. Not going to happen. I'll quickly say I forgive you. No big deal. Because you're not going to live here. I'm going to keep moving. And I'm going to tell you, Martin, Malcolm, Huey, things that they taught. You know something? And I don't even think they were killed for their beliefs in that. I honestly believe they were killed, assassinated, because of the economic development, group economics, because racism is a race. I want to maintain what I have, which is a race. I want to raise. The act of racism is to maintain. They want to keep what they have. That's why they don't believe in equality. They believe because I got a skin color that's darker, but you're out getting tans. That makes how much sense? Right? Or you shouldn't, you should be segregated. You know, you shouldn't live in my neighborhood. No, I'm going to tell you something. There's black people I don't want living in my neighborhoods too. Because you know what? Your parents, just like this boy's parents, didn't teach him how to be a man and be somebody. Well, maybe they did teach him to be somebody. A fucking racist. Or a murderer. To do something stupid. And like he said, or allegedly to the lady, I just gotta do it. Which means that he had thoughts, and like he allegedly told the police that I almost didn't do it because those people treated me. Right. Let me tell you something. You can catch more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. But I'm going to tell you, and if it's black people watching this or white people watching this, it's all about economics. So we want to talk about the crime rates, and we want to talk about different things. Let's look at the totem pole of where medium incomes are from, you know, a different ethnic group to ethnic group, from community to community. Let's talk about that. Support black business. Why? Doesn't mean that we hate white people business. Just says in order for us to bridge that gap, we're going to need to start spending some money with people that look like us, because we need to increase our medium incomes. Because I don't give a crap what you think. Money talks, bullshit walks. You want respect and you want power. It's numbers and dollars. There's 2 million. This comes from a couple years ago, so it could be even more. I'm pretty sure it is more. It's like 2 million black business on the books. 1.7 of them are solopreneurs. Can't win that way. You bought a job. You're self-employed. A business owner has a system that works for them. A system. If you're doing all the system, the marketing, the this, the that, you're self-employed. You probably have a whole lot less stress and a whole lot more money if you go work for somebody else. See, we need to create partnerships together. If, say, I'm not good in web design, I'm not going to try to create a website. I'm going to go hire a web designer. And to support my business, I'm going to go hire a web designer ran by a black person. Because if you go to Silicon Valley, you look at the flow charts. You look at you look at the states. Look at the flow charts. You know, I was listening to that South Carolina governor or ex-governor, whatever the hell he is, and he talked about how many blacks he put on the books, how many blacks, the first black he hired this and this, that, and the other. I never hear the first whites. Those talking points, talking heads. That's what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But I know one thing. If we don't come together as a people, and whether or not we agree with each other, whether or not you agree with this video or not, whether or not you agree with what's coming out of my mouth, it's my truth. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. That don't mean I'm going to dislike you or hate you or not do business with you. And that's why I created Black Folk Hotspots. And it came to me in a dream. And I believe that was God speaking. And he told me, this is what you need to do. And he said, do what you have been doing for yourself, which was creating blogs, selling products, and this, that, and the other, and helping to gain traffic and exposure to those blogs so that I can, you know, sell products and services. So I created that to help black business owners and events get more exposure online. And guys, I knew, this was back in 2008. There was a lot of black people that didn't even know what a blog was, how to gain traffic, and they still don't. They still blogging on Facebook. What if Facebook shut down tomorrow? What you got? Nothing. Everything down the drain. What about MySpace? I mean, if you don't believe it, look at MySpace. Now, I'm not saying you don't use those